The waves crashed against the rocky shore, their rhythmic pounding a stark contrast to the chaos in James's mind. He stood on the edge of the pier, the salty breeze tangling his hair as he frantically retraced his steps. His hands trembled as he scanned the sand below, his heart racing. It wasn't just any ring. It was the ring. The one his wife, Emily, had slipped onto his finger on their wedding day. The one that symbolized their vows, their promises, their love. And now, it was gone. "Please, no," James muttered under his breath, his voice breaking. His throat tightened as panic surged through him. He bent down, running his fingers through the damp sand, ignoring the sting of tears in his eyes. A sudden voice jolted him. "James? What's wrong?" James turned to see Emily approaching, concern etched into her face. Her hair fluttered in the breeze, and her eyes searched his for an answer. He froze, his mouth dry. How could he tell her? How could he explain that he had lost the most precious symbol of their relationship? James and Emily's love story was the kind people envied. They met in college. He was the quiet artist, and she was the vibrant dreamer who brought color into his world. Together they built a life filled with laughter, shared dreams, and unwavering support. Emily had been James's anchor during the darkest times of his life. When his father passed away unexpectedly, she was the one who held him through sleepless nights, whispering words of comfort when his grief felt unbearable. And when Emily faced her own battles, like the uncertainty of her mother's health, James stood by her side, her unwavering protector. On their wedding day, Emily slipped the simple silver ring onto James's finger, smiling as she said, "This is more than just a piece of jewelry. It's a promise. No matter what, we'll always face life together." James cherished that ring not for its monetary value but for what it represented. He wore it every day, taking it off only when necessary. But today had been different. During their beach outing, he'd taken the ring off to avoid losing it while swimming. Ironically, that's exactly what happened. He had set it on a towel near their belongings, but when he returned, the ring was gone. Now, as Emily stood before him, James felt the crushing weight of guilt and fear. He knew how much the ring meant to both of them. And yet, there he was, empty-handed. I lost it," James finally confessed, his voice barely audible over the crashing waves. Emily blinked, her face a mixture of confusion and worry. "Lost what?" "The ring," James said, his voice cracking. "Our wedding ring. I took it off while we were at the beach, and now it's gone." Silence hung between them like a heavy cloud. James braced himself for anger, for disappointment, for anything that would confirm his worst fears. But Emily didn't say a word. She simply stared at him, her expression unreadable. "I'm so sorry, Emily," James said, his words tumbling out in a rush. "I know how much it means to you. To us. I've looked everywhere, but it's gone. I've failed you." Emily took a deep breath, her gaze softening. "James," she said gently, stepping closer. "It's okay." James frowned, his heart sinking further. He thought she might be suppressing her feelings to spare him. "It's not okay. That ring is a part of us. How can you be so calm about this?" Emily reached for his hands, her touch warm and steady. "Because it's not about the ring," she said, her voice firm yet kind. "Yes, it's special, but what it represents, our love, our commitment, that's not tied to a piece of metal. Losing it doesn't change anything between us." James stared at her, his mind struggling to process her words. He had expected anger, disappointment, even tears. But instead she was offering him grace and understanding. "Come on," Emily said, a small smile tugging at her lips. "Let's look for it together. If we find it, great. If not, we'll figure it out. What matters is us." For the first time since realizing the ring was missing, James felt a flicker of hope. The two of them spent the next hour combing the beach, the setting sun casting long shadows over the sand. Emily's optimism fueled James's determination, and together they searched every possible spot where the ring could have fallen. "Anything?" Emily called out. brushing her hair from her face. "Not yet," James replied, his voice tinged with frustration. He wanted so badly to fix this, to prove that he valued their love as much as she did. As they moved closer to the water's edge, James paused, his eyes scanning the tide. "Maybe it got swept out," he muttered, his heart sinking. The thought of the ring lost forever, carried away by the ocean, felt like a cruel twist of fate. Emily noticed his despair and placed a hand on his shoulder. "James, look at me," she said softly. He turned to face her, his eyes full of guilt. "We'll be okay," she said. "Whether we find the ring or not, it doesn't change how I feel about you. Losing it doesn't mean you've lost my love or my trust." Her words hit him like a wave, washing away his self-doubt. "I don't deserve you," he said, his voice trembling. Emily smiled. "Of course you do. We deserve each other. That's what marriage is about, not perfection, but grace." Just as they were about to give up, a young boy approached them, holding something shiny in his small hand. "Excuse me," he said shyly. "Is this yours?" James's heart leapt as he recognized the familiar band of silver. "Yes, that's it," he exclaimed, taking the ring from the boy. "Where did you find it?" The boy pointed toward a patch of sand near the pier. "It was half buried. I was playing there and saw it sticking out." James and Emily exchanged a look of disbelief and gratitude. "Thank you so much," James said, kneeling to meet the boy's gaze. "You've no idea how much this means to us." The boy grinned. "You're welcome. My mom always says to help people when you can." As the boy ran off, James turned to Emily, slipping the ring back onto his finger. "I'll never take it. Off again," he vowed. Emily laughed softly, tears glistening in her eyes. "You don't have to promise that. Just promise me you'll always be honest and open no matter what." "I promise," James said, pulling her into a heartfelt embrace. The moment was quiet yet profound. Standing on the beach, holding each other under the fading light, James and Emily felt a renewed sense of connection. The ring, once thought lost, was back where it belonged, but it was the journey to this moment that truly mattered. James realized something important. Their love wasn't about material symbols or perfect moments. It was about the strength they found in each other during life's challenges. Losing the ring had been a test, not of their love, but of their resilience, and they had passed with flying colors. As they walked back to the car, hand in hand, James looked at Emily with newfound appreciation. "You're my everything," he said, his voice filled with sincerity, "with or without the ring." Emily smiled, squeezing his hand. "And you're mine, but I'm glad we found it." They laughed together, the sound carrying over the waves as the stars began to dot the sky. Back at home, James placed the ring in a small box on their dresser before climbing into bed. "I'll keep it safe until I can get it resized," he joked. Emily chuckled. "Or we could glue it to your finger." They both laughed, the tension of the day melting away. As they lay in bed, James felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. He had almost let fear and guilt cloud the most important thing in his life: their love. But Emily's unwavering support had reminded him of what truly mattered. From that day forward, the ring became more than just a symbol of their marriage. It became a reminder of their strength, their trust, and their ability to weather life's storms together. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who could use a little hope today. Subscribe to Echo Tales for more inspiring stories about love, resilience, and the beauty of human connections. Together, let's celebrate the moments that remind us of what truly matters in life.